Hey, I'm Casey Edwards, golf performance coach. Recently, I've had a couple of questions from multiple people about increasing backswing length. I know there's a lot of stiff people out there who love stick mobility, so I figured I would use this to help some of you guys out and see if we can figure out some things that specifically work for you to help improve not just your backswing position, but also your impact position, since they're very similar. So, as you know, stick mobility is one of my favorite products. If you're interested in buying one, you don't already have one, you can go over to stickmobility.com, use promo code EdwardsGolf. I'll put that down in the comment section or the caption below so that you can get that. So first thing, it's one of my favorite things to do right away, is just get a nice overhead position, try and work on stretching the lats, open up the thoracic spine. I like to put my right hand on top, left hand below to start. I'm just gonna do a big bow forward. As I'm bowing forward, I'm trying to get my hips to reach behind me, my arms actually push out in front of me. The stick is right in the middle of my feet, probably about 2 feet or 1.5 feet out in front. And right here, I'm just going to take nice big deep breaths. Inhale and exhale, trying to get a little bit longer each exhale that I make. After you've done a couple of these, since I have my right hand on top, if I really want to get my right lat, I'm just going to swivel very slightly to the left. Might be hard for you to see from that angle. So if I come back here, again, right hand is on top, basically just a regular golf stance. I'm going to exaggerate that forward bow, that hip hinge, and I'm just going to do a tiny little turn of this stick, and all of a sudden now I start to feel it down this entire chain all the way down towards my hip. I'm going to hang out there, maybe take 5 deep breaths. I'll come back up, switch my hands around, swivel a little bit to the other side. This one on me is a little bit tighter. And again, I feel it really coming down whole side of my lat there. Take some nice deep breaths. If this bothers your shoulder, one thing you can try to do is actually wrap your hand around a little further. Just externally rotate that shoulder a little bit more. Try the same exact technique. If you need to get into your lat more, I'll go single hand. I'll start with right again, and as I'm in this position, I'll put the stick in the exact same spot. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to rotate this side of my body down towards the ground, really make a very long curve from the top of the stick where my right hand is to the bottom of my right hip or low back as my lat travels all the way down there. We'll see it from the left side. I'm going to turn my chest as far as I can, big stretch down the side. Same thing as before, I'd take about 5 deep breaths each exhale, trying to elongate and sink down a little bit further each time. From there, probably go to one of my favorite things, is the big full body rotation. So we were asked about backswing, so I'm going to put my left hand on top. If I start in the golf posture, I want to put this stick off my right toe just inside. I'm going to take my left hand, step it backwards. As I reach my right hand across, cavitation on the pelvic spine left, tent left. And from here, I'll take some nice big inhale and exhales. I'm going to feel stretch all the way down my lat here, from the behind my lat, underneath my shoulder blade, all the way to the top of my right hip, even down almost to my calf on the right side if I get wound up long enough. Same thing, big inhale, exhale. Every exhale, I'm trying to get this stick further away from my shoulders. I drop my left shoulder down towards the ground. If you feel unstable in that position, just go wider with the foot. This foot that drops back, it's only there for stability. It doesn't have to be a tightrope so that it's a balance exercise. So wherever you want to go with it, just go there. Exact same thing going to impact position. If I was looking at an impact position, I'm trying to get my shoulders stacked again, weight towards the left side. So if I take my right hand, I now throw it across my body here, my weight on my left side, and I just take that right foot, drop it back, and now I can really sink into that left hip, try to open up my left hip for that impact position. Same thing, some deep breaths here. This is one I've been messing around with a little bit more for thoracic spine now. I'm going to put the stick outside my right foot, and my right hand is on top. Rotation we can think of as a push-pull activity. So if I wanted to turn to my left and face you, I would pull something with my left hand as I push something with my right, and that causes a full body twist. Same idea here. I'm going to put the stick out to the right of my right foot. My right hand is just sort of clamped over the top of it here. I don't need to grab it very tight. I just want to hook my fingers around the top. Left hand's going to go somewhere towards the middle. I love using the sticker as a target. Put your hand on there. All my weight already goes to my right side now. I'm going to pull with my top hand, push with my bottom hand. My elbows are going to stay straight. We don't need to bend the elbows at all. So keeping the elbows straight, I'm going to push and pull, and you can see how my shoulders start to get stacked on top of each other. Try to stay grounded here. Most of the weight on the right side. I feel this again down the side of my body here. You might feel a little bit in the mid back or upper back if that's where you're stiffest. Same thing, big inhale, exhale. Especially as you're pushing here, this is more work than it looks like. Big inhales, exhales as you hold that push-pull. And then we can switch to the other side, get the exact same thing for an impact position. Hooking my left hand, right hand goes to the center. Weight on the left side as I push away through the right hand, hooking the left and pulling the left towards me. Holding, taking some nice big deep breaths there. So by doing that, we've now opened up the lat, the thoracic spine, the mid-back, and let some of the glutes loosen up and stretch out a little bit as well. So now rotation should feel pretty good. I think the most important thing, once you start to get some joint mobility and some flexibility through your muscular and myofascial system, we have to do some motor control, basically reprogramming that movement pattern. Because just because you can get to that position, as far as a joint flexibility standpoint goes and joint mobility standpoint comes, it's important that we also know how to get to those positions again. So if you cross this across your chest, now I'm using the stick both as a reference point and as a target. So what I'm going to try to do is keep my lower body steady while I just move through my thoracic spine, just rotation from waist up. So as I turn to the right, I'm trying to get this stick to come down and point towards the ball. Then I'm going to try and go the other way. If I'm doing this right, it should be about 45 degrees. 0 degrees would be pointing parallel with my shoulders. 90 would be down towards the ball. So if you make it about halfway there, you're doing a pretty good job. So I want you to go back and forth. If you feel like you can't help but use your lower body, your knees are oscillating, your belt buckle is turning, what I want you to do is take a huge lunge stance, basically a deep flexion on one side and extension on the other. That'll sort of lock the pelvis in position. And then I want you to try and do the same thing, and that'll make it a little easier. Once you figure that out, come back to even feet, try the same thing again. That I would say do as many times as you need to so that you do it well. The next thing I want to see is you're going to go, think about the grip you have on the club. If you're right-handed, left hand's at the top of the club, right hand's down below it. So what I want you to do is keep those palms pointing in the same direction, separate them out on the stick. You can go as wide as the grip if you want. And the whole time, just like we did with that little push-pull exercise, I want elbows straight. Then I want you to think about pushing this stick away from you as much as you can, pushing through that left hand and almost pulling towards you with the right. That's big rotation there. And just do that for some repetitions. So as you turn, far as you can each time, weight shift to the right, big turn. And we can do the same thing coming back to impact position, shifting down to the left, big turn, push, pull, come as far around as you can. And that'll help us get nice transition into impact position as well. The last thing I want to do, if you've made it this far, I appreciate it, is you're probably going to get one of the best exercises as far as motor control goes. I'm putting it across my shoulders again. We're going to try and work on external rotation of the hip, so turning away from the left foot in this case. Left foot's in front. What I'm going to try to do is load up the left side, so I'm turning, full internal rotation, pushing the stick towards the ground, coming back to neutral. Now I'm going to point the opposite side of the stick at the ground, turning towards my backswing side. This should feel like a lot of work on this lead hip. This glute should be squeezing pretty hard. Coming back down to neutral, load up, get stretch in the left glute, back to neutral, turn as far as you can. The mistake everyone's going to make is this knee is going to cave inward and you're not going to feel anything. it is critical that you keep this hip, knee, and foot all in a straight line. So if you don't feel it, look down at your knee and see if it's inside your foot. Hit this the same on the other side. If you want to get nice strong impact, big turn, load to the right side, turn to the right, point the left end of the stick at the ground. As you're turning towards impact, hold that knee there, get the right side of the stick down, and hold there for a second. You can swivel that back foot, that's totally fine, but really focus on that front knee being very stable and very quiet. Thank you guys for watching this video. Appreciate it if you subscribe below. I try to put out new content whenever I get enough requests. So if there's anything you want to see, please comment below, send me a message. My email will be there, my phone number's there. So if you ever need any help, virtually, in person, anything golf related, I'm here to help you out. Hope you guys have a great day.